Welcome to Talk to SATV, where we discuss most pressing global and national issues. Tonight we turn our attention to Israel-Palestine conflict, one of the most deeply rooted and heartbreaking struggles of our era, of our time. Beyond the headlines and political debates, ladies and gentlemen, there is a human story. The story of resilience, loss and hope. To bring us closer to this reality, tonight we have invited two of the medical students from Palestine. They are studying in Sohrawardi Medical College and Dhaka Medical College. On my right, Ibrahim Selim Kishko and Ishaq Nasser Nomura. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Through your eyes, through their lenses, we will gain insight into the struggle faced by the Palestinians, not only in their homeland, but also as students, as aspiring doctors, as global citizens, how they could play their role in establishing international peace, security and brotherhood. So tonight we will discuss all of it, and we will also discuss that how does it feel to be Palestinian, struggling, and their perspectives and your hopes for a future beyond war and suffering. So my first question to Mr. Ibrahim, that can you tell us about your journey as a Palestinian medical student in Bangladesh?
So thank you so much for having me today. I'm so honored to express myself through your channel. So it was really a great opportunity for me to get a chance in Bangladesh to study medical science. And since I came, I was really welcomed by my sisters and brothers in Bangladesh. It was a kind of tough time initially in terms of language, right? Like we face a new culture. But yeah, I never felt like I'm away from my home. Yeah, like they were like closely all the time to me.
Okay. Ishaq, what motivated you to study in Bangladesh? How do you come to know about Bangladesh? And how was your experience after coming over here? If you could enlighten us on that.
Well, I would like to start, of course, by thanking you for bringing us here and giving us an outlet to talk about our struggle. For now, I always have heard about Bangladesh. Of course, we know Bangladesh is a country in the Far East in the world, a Muslim country. But beyond that, I knew so little, and I have to admit it. It came to my knowledge that Bangladesh has been given scholarships to medical students or to Palestinian medical students through the Ministry of Education in Palestine. And through their website, I have applied for that scholarship. Of course, there was the factor of fear, the fear factor that it's a faraway country. But my father, he pushed me to it, kind of, and I got it, thank God, and I came here.
Okay, Ibrahim, how do you connect with your family and homeland while being away in Bangladesh? Do you find any problems while visiting?
See, as a Palestinians who were born and raised in Gaza, it's kind of difficult to travel and to come to back due to the Israeli restrictions. Yeah. So since I came to Bangladesh, I am here, and because it's really tough to go back. Yeah. And I usually communicate with them through online, all the available media, WhatsApp, Facebook. Yeah.
Do you visit frequently?
I didn't really visit since I came here. As I said, because of the restrictions that they are put in front of the Palestinians to go and to come from the country. So yeah, for me, I'm more focused just to complete my study. Then, inshallah, will I go back to Palestine.
Ishaq, what challenges do you face living in a distant country, especially given the ongoing conflict situation over there? Because had there been no conflict, would you been regularly, frequently been visiting the home country? Because what would be the ideal situation for you if there is no conflict? Does conflict plays a role in case of visiting the home?
Well, most definitely. It's not easy for anyone who went out of Palestine, like to go out of Palestine in the beginning and to come back to Palestine and then go out of it again. That's a huge risk. I know personally some people who went back on a break from their studies, and when they wanted to go again to the countries that they were studying in, they were stopped on the border and sent back, and they missed out on their studies. So it's a big struggle, and in an ideal situation I could be visiting my family every year, but I've been here for almost 3.5 years, and I never visited my home.
So from your perspective, what's the current situation of Palestine right now? What is the current situation right now over there?
Well, right now, since I come from the West Bank, I will talk about what's going on there. Well, right now the situation has never been worse in the West Bank. There's the problem of illegal settlements that has been going on for as long as this problem has existed. There's the problem of hostility towards the Palestinian people on their lands, breaking all the international laws and regulations protected by the Israeli army. And there's also the problem of movement in Palestine. My relatives are in a different place, and if I want to visit them, I have to go through at least 3 or 4 checkpoints, where at any one of those checkpoints, at any moment, a soldier will point a gun to my head, and from zero distance. So it's a lot of risk. Also, the economic situation has never been worse than nowadays. People are suffering right now. There's very low availability of food, and also the economic situation in general, like money. People are out of any sort of supplies, and people are very frustrated. And in the West Bank, recently, right after the 7th of October, before the 7th of October, there was around 126 to 150 checkpoints in the West Bank. But after the ceasefire, which took place around 3 weeks ago, now there are 960 checkpoints in the West Bank. So the number has doubled, I would say, increased 9-folds. And that's a scary situation to be living in. And now also, if you see on the media outlets that they have been bombing in the West Bank, they have been bombing the Jenin refugee camps, they have been throwing people out of their places and taking their places as military basements, like what's happening right now in Jenin refugee camp, and the Ain Shams camp, and other places in Palestine in the West Bank. There are around 30,000 Palestinians who left their homes, and they're without any home in the West Bank because of that. So whatever was going on in Gaza, now they're bringing it to the West Bank. After, of course, it has never stopped, but right now it has never been more intense.
Ibrahim, as he's talking about the checkpoints that he has to pass in West Bank, what about Gaza? What is the situation of Gaza, current situation now?
Right. If we talk as February 13th, 2025, now we have seen after the people returned to North Gaza, right? They saw the extent of the destruction more than expected, and that literally means Israel has left no breath for life for Gaza, or any way that people can breathe through. So yeah, in terms of we're talking about the food, the water suppliers, the medical facilities, and yeah, all the basic needs almost like demolished by the Israeli forces. Yeah, and when it comes, when I talk about my family, which each example of each family in Gaza right now, there are still like many of my family members living in the streets, in the tents. We're supposed the amount of the tent or the what you call like mobile houses supposed to enter Gaza, but Israel yet didn't allow it. And yeah, the suffering is still the same. People living in the streets. At current situation, the temperature is very low there. Raining is very heavily. So yeah, this is the situation of Gaza.
So Isaac, what is how is the communication from Gaza to West Bank to Gaza?
Oh well,
like the distance seems very short in the map, but is it the really short distance for you guys to visit each other?
Oh, that's a good question, because I'm from the West Bank, he's from Gaza. But if it wasn't for Bangladesh, we would have never met. We can meet anywhere else in the world outside of Palestine. Only in our homeland we cannot meet. there's zero communication between the West Bank and Gaza, and that's imposed by the occupation and their policy to break down the Palestinian unity and make the West Bank as its own cause and make Gaza as its own cause or problem, and to break the unity of the Palestinian people. So yeah, it's an interesting thing that even after we finish our studies, if he goes back to Gaza and I go back to West Bank, we will be both in Palestine, but will we be able to meet each other? I don't think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a break. We were discussing about the current situation of Palestine-Israel conflict. Do get back. We will discuss the rest of it. Welcome to Talk to SATV again. Before the break, we are discussing the current situations of Gaza and West Bank. Mr. Ishaq, as a Palestinian, how do you feel when you see the global media coverage? Is it really depicting the true situations over there?
Well, when we talk about media outlets, I mean, every media outlet has, like nowadays, I would say, have its own agenda and its own maybe political way of reviewing things. So there are some media outlets like CNN, like Fox News, those media outlets that portray us in a very bad way, in a very bad manner, I would say. And there are other media outlets that view us in a righteous way. And there is, like I would say nowadays, it stopped being a matter of media outlets. It became more of a social media matter, because nowadays most of the people, or from this generation, I would call it the Gen Z, as people call it, they receive their news from social media, and people, the individuals, they share the information or the pictures and the videos they see and they capture themselves, they share it on social media. So in some way that has created a better understanding and a better coverage of the cause, and in another way that also created some sorts of I would say rush to get information, which sometimes can be misinterpreted and mistakenly approved. Like there are some people who would say that no, I am from Israel and I've been suffering and I have to hide in a bunker below the earth, and then when you check their profiles, they are from a completely different part of the world. I think some people who hear this will know about what I'm talking. So that's one thing. But mainly today it's all about how social media is going right now. Also, especially when I talk about social media, nowadays on Meta, any outlet of Meta, you would see that most of the Palestinian content has been shadow banned or completely shut. So there's also that fight that we're trying to prosper on social media too, also from the media outlets.
Mr. Ibrahim, how has the international response to the crisis impacted the Palestinian people, especially in terms of humanitarian and diplomatic assistance?
Yeah. If you talk about the response, especially from the general people, and as I'm talking now, there are people who are protesting and still talking for the Palestinians, right?
All over the world.
Yeah, all over the world. This really has a good impact on the governments, and especially like when it comes to countering the misinformation, the bias that came from as he talked, from the CNS or some channels, right, who has bias. And there was like a huge awareness and informing the public, right?
Ibrahim, how has the conflict impacted the education system over there in Palestine?
Over there, okay. So from the initial time, definitely in the genocide time or war time, you cannot safely go to the college, and especially when we talk about Gaza.
Even in schools as well.
Yeah, if we talk about Gaza or the situation as the universities, schools, like almost everything was a target by the Israeli forces. There was totally like shutdown of the education system in Gaza, and among my family members, friends, and my colleagues who lost their educations, they have no way that they can continue their studies. Right, even how hard they tried to make it online, even the internet is not available.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like totally shut down the education system in Gaza during the past 1.5 year.
And in the West Bank, I would like to add, in the West Bank, people are not having it any easier. There has been a lot of videos on social media circulating and about illegal settlers bashing into schools with weapons and threatening the children, go to your homes, and threatening the teachers, beating up the principal, terrorizing the children. That's on the school level. On a university level, the university and college students, they cannot go to their universities without being harassed by the occupation forces and harassed by the settlers. So education right now is a very big thing that we are facing a lot of attack on, because it's the base of our society, our education.
So you think the higher education is equally affected, like primary and secondary education?
Definitely.
The whole system, education in general, is wholly affected. Yeah, I mean, as I said, the school, the universities, like everything was a target for Israel, right?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about the conflict situation and how the conflict affects the education system of Palestine. We will discuss about the conflict more. Do get back after the break. Welcome to Talk to SATV. Before the break, we were discussing about how conflict affects the education system in Palestine. Now we will discuss about the healthcare system, how healthcare is affected by the conflict, how it is over there. Isaac.
Well, it's a crisis. By all measures, it's a crisis. All the hospitals are destroyed. There was only one functioning hospital in northern Gaza, and that hospital has been destroyed. And most of the healthcare workers in Gaza has already been martyred. There are a lot of injured people, like more than 40% of the whole population now are suffering from injuries or suffering from the loss of lives. So also one point that a lot of people tend to forget is that the Israeli forces has directly attacked doctors and shot them with snipers. As a sniper, you cannot mistakenly shoot someone. Doctors, nurses, first aid helpers, ambulances, everything. And in hospitals, you would see, those baby incubators. They have been shut down, and babies would suffocate to death. And also in Gaza, there's complete absence of medications, of sterilants, like doctors and anesthetics. Doctors there and surgeons have been performing surgeries without any anesthesia, without any sterile objects to do the surgeries. There is the spread of infectious diseases that has been never seen in that area before. So it is a crisis by all measures.
Is there any shortage of medicine, Ibrahim?
Yeah, shortage of medicine,
or equipment?
Yeah, in my call with my colleagues, he's a doctor and he was working.
He's in Gaza.
He's in Gaza. He was working there in European hospital in Gaza. He was telling me that even the basic things you cannot get, like just a gauze or syringe, or if you need just some blasters. So if we talk about those if those are not there, what can we say about the things that, how to say it, those are the basic things, right? So definitely the other things won't be there.
Isaac, Do you think the training in Bangladesh is making you stronger? Because we have a bigger population. The workloads that the intern doctor has to take is like immense. So does that equip you with, or make you strong to deal with the situation over there?
Well, most definitely. I mean, there's a lot of work that you have to do as an intern in Bangladesh. Also, Bangladesh, the education system here is very strong. Also, as a when you do your internship in Bangladesh, it gets your skin thicker as a doctor. So because there's always an emergency and there's always a case that you have never seen before every day. So that definitely equips you to deal with a crisis like the one happening in my home. So definitely Bangladesh is the place if you want to get your skin thicker as a doctor.
Okay,
I would like to mention something.
Please.
Yeah, so if I would like to mention something that the system here, like from the first year, you get the exposure for the real bodies, right? Like for me, when I started, like when I came here, suddenly just from the first class I attended, I'm seeing a human body, right? It's like if I compare to any other countries, the med students usually study the models, right? And it's really important for the doctor to see the real bodies, to differentiate, and by this experience you can be more confident, right? And yeah, as I mentioned earlier about the hospital here, you get really a good enough time of exposure in the clinical part, and that really good for your experience as a doctor. And this is it whole, like it's all about experience in the hospital.
Okay, Ishaq, how Bangladeshi students welcome you over here in different medical colleges, and how is the academic environment to you? Is it too hard? Is it too soft? How was your experience, to be honest?
Well, academically, of course, it is really tough. I mean, it's medical studies, so you have to go through that hardship of studying it. But talking about the reception here, as a Palestinian, people here never wasted a chance to make me feel welcome, never wasted a chance to make me feel warm, never wasted a chance to tell me that they're close to me and they're nearby whenever I need to talk about something. I have some teachers in my exams, they would tell me that, son, we understand the current situation in your country and we understand your mental health right now, so you can take your time to answer your questions, which is really, really a big thing for a student who has something going on back at their home, like what we're having. So definitely Bangladesh has, like, the student environment, also the teachers and everyone, literally everyone in Bangladesh has been very welcoming, very warm. And yeah, the community here, me and my friend here, Ibrahim, we have mixed also with the local people here, and Bangladesh became our second home, a place we love and adore. Wonderful. And will always be connected to throughout our whole lives.
Ibrahim, do you think the Bangladeshi people supports the Palestinian cause? How do they react?
So
how do they feel inside?
So the Bangladesh support, it started long ago. It's not just with the 7th of October. Since I came here, being a Palestinian in Bangladesh is really something means a lot for the Bangladeshis, right? And even they welcome me. You don't worry, like usually here, like the room problems, right? They just eased everything for me, with the welcoming, and they working in their houses. And yeah, along the time, I was really seeing the love from Bangladeshis, and especially when 7th of October started. They're starting talking to me like a family, and it's like, if you need anything, we are here, don't worry, your family, we understand your feelings now. So yeah, I really loved being here at current time. Honestly, if I was like somewhere else, I'm not sure if I will get the same hospitality or the same care I got from my Bangladeshi brothers.
Thank you. The same question to you.
The support we get from Bangladesh, as my brother said, it's not a recent thing. It has been there since the beginning of Bangladesh, and I believe that it will always continue. this is a bond between two people, and the support is something. The support that we get from Bangladesh is unmatched. It's nearly unmatched, and we really love it and we respect it, and we would love to. We love to tell the people here that it's this love and this support is also reciprocated. Bangladesh, as you stand with Palestine, Palestine also stands with Bangladesh.
Thank you.
I would like, I would like to add a story that really explains the love of Bangladeshis for the Palestinians and Palestine in general. That happened with me personally. That I was getting Uber, my bike. So after we went through the way, on our way, he was asking me like, "Are you Pakistani?" I said, "No, I'm actually from Palestine. I'm Palestine Tekebaya." He was like so overjoyed, and he just stood and told me, "Can I just take a hug?" And that's not all. It's still like we continued. We exchanged some conversation, and he was, as I said, like overjoyed. Once we dropped in our station. Like I asked him, "Baya, like kot holo?" Then he said, "Baya, abdi taka di binna, so you will not give me taka." I said, "Baya, it's okay. It's your money. It's your work. It's fine. I understand the love that you feel for us, but still, it's work. You have a baby. You have a children. Something." Then he said, "Baya, no." Then he just took his wallet out and he's offering me 500, and I was like, "Oh my God," shocked. I really understand how hard this bike driver works, and he barely make 500, right?
Exactly.
And he still is offering me this amount. I mean, like he has a baby, he has a family to spend on, right?
That's the unconditional love. For
this really explains the love.
For the exploited people.
And you know, I told him I will really send that amount to Gaza on your behalf, but you just keep it for yourself. He insisted. So now I became in two different situations that each one is hardest than the other one, because I don't know, like, should I say no, he'll be disappointed, or should I say yes? I don't know. Still, like, he really in need of it, right? He's really in need of it. Then I said, oh my God, he really insisted, and that insistence, like, this story means a lot. This really explains the love of Bangladeshis, how it's rooted in their blood, you know? So yeah.
So Isaac, what are your hopes for the future of Palestine? How do you see yourself after completing the studies over here? How do you serve the country over there? How do you serve your people? So what's your future plans and future hope for the Palestine?
Well, I hope after I finish my training in Bangladesh, my internship, I will go back home, serve my people with whatever knowledge I have, serve the wounded and help the ones in need. But the future that I don't know what the future have for us, but the future that I personally want to see is a future full of justice and full of hope for our people and our cause, and a future with our people resilient on their land, despite all the planning that has been going on for years, not only for a couple of days like what Trump was talking about. For years, plans about removing people from their land. So that's the form of future I hope to see. A future of us resilient in our land with all of our rights, and I hope that in the near future all of the international community would finally bring Israel and the United States to actually follow the decisions and the orders by the ICJ and the Security Council. There has been more than 150 orders from the Security Council, resolutions from the Security Council about the Palestinian rights, about the illegal atrocities that has been happening in Palestine by the hands of the occupation, and also the ruling of the ICJ about Benjamin Netanyahu, that he's a war criminal and he's convicted with genocide. We hope to see that has been implemented in the future.
Isaac, what message do you want to send to international community as well as Bangladeshi citizens regarding the conflict? What supports do you want from the international community? What are you urging?
So to the international community, I want to say that some people view us as human animals and devils, and some other people view us as angels. But believe me, below all of this or beyond all of this. It's just that we are human beings and we have a cause and we're fighting for that cause, and we will never stop fighting until we reach that cause. So we hope that you are on our side. We're on our journey to get our rights, because at the beginning of everything, this is a righteous cause, a humanitarian cause. Before anything else, before all of the politics and diplomacies, it's a righteous humanitarian cause. And to the people of Bangladesh, I would love to say, I would love to send all my love and all my greetings and all my regards to every single Bangladeshi. These people, this country that have always supported us, and these people who have never wasted any chance to show their solidarity with us, and even with when the times were better, Bangladesh has always been a supporter for the Palestinian cause. And I wish that Bangladesh is gonna be more prosperous than ever, and I also wish that they will continue their solidarity with us.
Thank you. Ibrahim, you want to make some ending remarks?
So yeah, as I said, the second question, right?
Yeah, for the people of Bangladesh.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm really thankful and grateful to be here between my Bangladeshi brothers and sisters, and I just feel like how lucky I am just to have this chance, especially at this situation. The love I have seen here, I mean, it's unimaginable, you know. I just say thank you for this hospitality. Thank you for offering us as Palestinians a chance to study medical science. We're really we are in need of it back at home. Now a doctor has become a target, right? And we really need doctors who really can serve there. And Bangladesh offered with love this opportunity for us to study and serve our communities.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ibrahim.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Isaac. Thank you for coming to our show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It was an honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were talking with Ibrahim and Ishaq. They enlighten us about the humanitarian crisis that's been going on in West Bank and Gaza. They belong from the different cities, but they met over here for the first time, and it was so difficult for them to meet, even in Palestine. So they also brought us to the light that how people all over the world felt for the crisis. Even the people of Bangladesh, how they connect with Palestinian crisis. And the state of Bangladesh reiterated the support again and again for the Palestinian cause, for the Palestinian crisis. So I thank two of you for coming to our show.
Thank you.
So I hope we all be united for a greater cause, that is to resolve this crisis. Ibrahim and Ishaq, thank you so much for coming to the show and enlightening us about the cause, about the Palestine-Israel conflict and the insights over there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I would like, before you end your show, we brought you a small gift. It's just a gesture.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I would like to...
Why not? Please.
This is a gift.
Thank you.
Just a small gesture. It's the heart of our culture, our kufiya. And here you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
the
us
honor.
and giving
Thank you so
us
much.
this
It's an
opportunity to
absolute
talk about
pleasure.
our cause.
It's an absolute pleasure.